What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be going over a Overwatch console tier list. It's going to be the first one that I've done, and I think I'm getting to the point now where I have enough hours into the game to the point where I can actually create a tier list. The reason why I haven't really thrown one up is because one, my computer's shit, and I haven't really had much hours to play into the game. I got around about 250 hours into the game now, so I'm thinking that I'm at the point to where I can actually create a tier list. So if you guys want more videos like this in the future, please let me know by leaving a like and subscribing if you are new. I'll be keeping up with the Overwatch and Paladins content. I'm going to hop right into this. This might be a bit of a longer video because I'm going to try to be as thorough as possible. For most heroes, we're going to get right into it. S, basically top tier. Must pick, like wins games, heroes. B tier, extremely average, works in most situations, solid pick. C, D, C pretty much you can pick it, but a little bit more situational. D, super situational. E, F, kind of shit tier. F, you're never going to be choosing this hero, which, spoiler, I don't think there's going to be any Fs. Unlike Paladins, I don't think any of the heroes in the game are absolutely unusable, which is a good sign. Going to be starting it off with Donna. I think Donna is very average. B. On console, a little bit harder to play. She gets jumped super easily. She's one of more of those backline healers, depending on how you play her. You can also play her up close. She can also be a frontline healer, but as long as your tanks protect you. She has a sleep dart. Change team fights if your team's smart enough to capitalize on it. And as well as a reduced healing. She also has something that can reduce healing as well. So overall, solid B. This is going to be actually for, you can take this tier list into consideration for either like casuals or like mid to high tier ranked. Some even lower ranked if you want. I'm talking more around about platinum, lower diamond, maybe gold, stuff like that. Right now I'm currently platinum, I think, in DPS and tank, even though I barely play tank, and I'm actually gold for some reason in support. Kind of got unlucky with qualifiers, so Ash, very solid on most comps, good ult, good damage. The only thing she really lacks is a little bit of mobility. Otherwise, she's a very solid pick on most maps. Baptiste, not insanely broken like a must pick, must ban, or like a must pick every game. I guess there's not really any bans in the game, but I'm thinking of Paladins. But if you want a decent, really solid healer, pick Baptiste. Insane amounts of healing, insane amounts of damage, very good hybrid support between both of those two. Immunity field, great for ults like Diva's Bomb, stuff like that. Junkrat's ult, stuff like that. So very, very solid, very, very good healer. Probably one of the best in the game. Bastion. On console, Bastion is a pain in the ass to deal with a good team behind him. If you're just playing Bastion like, say like casuals and you have like shitty teammates, then he's going to be kind of situational. But if you can put him with a decent team, you give him like a Reinhardt to just shoot and sit and shoot where you can't get your opponents can't get into the back line to kill him. He just does a shitload of damage, especially now with shields being nerfed. You got Sigma's shield being nerfed, or Reese's shield got nerfed. You can just plow through teams if you don't have anything for him. If you don't legit focus them down. I've gone games where I had like 30 eliminations in like 8-minute match in ranked, so probably one of my most picked DPS as well. At least that what I play. Brigitte, C, more situational healer. At least on console. I mean, she does decent damage, decent healing. What makes her different from the other healers is that she can give shields when people are at full health. Does help out a lot. Decent ult. Nothing really too special. She's a more situational healer. But she's not bad by any means. Doomfist, fucking broken. If you're a good Doomfist player, you can pretty much get from all the way from gold to probably like high diamond just by playing Doomfist. He's that broken. Doomfist needs some type of nerf. He gets shields way too fast. He does way too much damage. His ult has too big of a radius. I don't know, he needs some type of nerf. And take in mind, this is a console tier list, so a lot harder to use and go against Doomfist on console than probably it is PC. Diva. I'm gonna put Diva in an A, above average. She has a great ult, great team fight ult that literally almost guarantees like 1 or 2 kills most times if you're good at using it. The only thing that's kind of lacking on her is that she kind of lacks damage at around about medium to long range. She has really no poke at all. She's great for getting up to high ground, knocking people off high ground like Widowmaker, Hanzo, McCree, stuff like that, Soldier. Apart from that, I think she's a really solid pick in the most comps. The only thing she really doesn't have is that she doesn't have that like a shield if you want something with a shield, but she brings other stuff in different ways. Genji, C. I mean, he's decent if you can play him, but you really don't see him that much. The reason why Genji's C is because there's no reason to play him over like a Reaper or like a Tracer if you're good at Tracer. Even like Sombra, stuff like that. He's just a lot more difficult to play, and there's better options that are way easier to play and way more effective than Genji is. Even though he got a bit of an ammo buff, he's still not really in the right spot, in my opinion, for at least console. Hanzo. I'm going to put Hanzo at a solid A. He has a great ult, a great team fight ult. If you can land it, it's pretty much guaranteed 1 kill every time if you're good at landing your ult, which can change team fights. Does a shitload of damage. He's a great check to things like Bastion, Diva, especially with his spammable 5 arrows. He has a reveal into his kit, some utility. Everything Shaolin wishes he was going to be is Hanzo. Pretty much. If you guys do not know the references, I do play Paladins as well. If you guys want to go check out that game, pretty much the free version of Overwatch. I will be making a lot of references to that game in this video. I've got over 3,200 hours into that game now currently, so you guys want to go check those videos out. I'll link them in the description or they're on my channel at the top. Junkrat. I would put Junkrat at a B. He has a decent ult. His ult can get a lot of kills. But it's just super easy to kill. If you're going against like a coordinated team, people just shoot at your rip tire and just 100% destroy it, and you got a pretty much useless ult most times. That's the reason why he's kind of a B. Very average. He does have good maps like you can be decent on King's Row. Hollywood is probably his best map. If you want a really good DPS on Hollywood, you just throw down traps, you throw down bombs. Hollywood is probably his best map if you want a solid DPS. Apart from that, he's kind of situational on most maps. If you can play him well, then a good Junkrat is really scary to go against. But apart from that, very mediocre ult, okay damage. Just very situational. There's not really much reason to pick him over something like a Hanzo or some of the other DPS. I'm gonna put Lucio at an S. Brings so much utility. The only thing he kind of lacks is heals. The tick heal over time really isn't that great. Brings so much utility. So much with decent damage, great ult for especially for like team fights, counter other ults like Diva Bomb, things like Winston's ult, stuff like Wrecking Ball ult, stuff like that. If you're around the payload, you just throw out your ult, you're good. Same with things like McCree. So overall, very very solid. If you want to get really solid healer, they can give you a speed boost and decent healing numbers. Definitely pick Lucio. If you're a good Lucio, you can carry games. McCree, I'm going to put McCree at an A. On console, he's actually pretty damn good. He has a really good ult. If you're going against more like a coordinated team, though, you're maybe only going to get like 1 kill. But if, say you're playing in like casuals, you can get it rack up to like 3-4 kills off 1 ult. Absolutely insane. Kind of lacks some mobility, but he does have a built-in stun on his kit. Kind of moves him up a little bit on the ladder, in my opinion. Decent damage. The only thing I would change about McCree is increases ammo. 6 shots aren't really enough, in my opinion. Even though he does a full reload after his dodge roll, I mean, 6 shots really ain't that much. You're constantly reloading. Mei is probably one of the most broken DPS in the game. The only thing Mei lacks is mobility. She's super slow and super easy to lock down. Apart from that, if you just let her farm your backline or constantly go after people and start freezing people, and the team actually capitalizes, you're going to have a really tough time. Not to mention she has one of the best team fight ults in the game with the Blizzard. Can change like a team fight ult or team fight in like 5 seconds if you can pick off like 2 or 3 people, which is usually most of the time you can. If you're good May, then you could really carry games. Mercy, probably one of the easier healers to play on console. I'm gonna put her at a solid A. Above average. She does have some utility with the damage boost. She does okay damage, but apart from that, she's kind of a heal bot, in my opinion. Not really the funnest healer to play, but she does decent healing numbers, and she does decent damage if you need that as well. Okay ult as well as kind of more of a utility ult. Moira, I don't even know why Moira is even considered a support. Moira is, in my eyes, a damage, a DPS. They nerfed her healing. Her healing absolute garbage now, but if you want a healer that for some reason does way more damage than she does healing at the current point in the game, pick Moira. I don't know, I've been carrying ranked games. You get like, I don't know, flank Moira, DPS Moira. You really can't keep up with healing at this point because they nerfed her heal. You're constantly out of resource, so you're constantly just going after. You're better off just playing Moira as a DPS. Does way more DPS and way more better as a like a hybrid support that can sometimes heal when there's nothing else going on. But otherwise, you're constantly flanking, constantly putting on pressure, letting your other main healer do the healing. Insane ult, by the way. Her ult is insanely good. In my opinion, I honestly think they need to buff her healing side, revert the heal nerf on her heal, and nerf some of her damage output, because it's absolutely insane. Orisa. I'm going to put Orisa at a solid B, just because her shield got nerfed. Otherwise, she does a lot of DPS. She has a decent team fight ult. Not really too much else to say about Orisa. Or if she has a huge hitbox as well. Fara. Should put Fara at an S. Fara is super difficult to deal with on console, especially if you're playing, if you're not playing a hit scan. You need to have a hit scan like a Soldier 76, maybe like a Bastion. Even a Bastion against a good Fara doesn't even win most of the fights. You need to play something that can, like a hit scan, to take a good Fara out of the sky. She's also one of my most played DPS in the game. Definitely a very good solid pick, especially on maps like Ivana. Ivana, even like most maps, she's a solid pick on. Especially if you're going against things like Reaper that really don't have that much long range poke. Going against like a Tracer, you're constantly getting damage, stuff like that. Stuff that has like super lacking in range. Reaper, broken, way too much lifesteal, way too much damage. The only drawback that he has is that he does absolutely nothing towards like medium, high, long range. Up close though, he just melts. Best like flank DPS in the game. That's the reason why I put Genji down at a C. There's no reason to use him over a Reaper. His ult has way too much lifesteal. It's impossible to kill him during the ult unless you like lock him down with some CC. Otherwise, he gets too much lifesteal back, and it's impossible to kill him. Broken. He needs his damage nerfed. He needs his ammo nerfed. Something absolutely broken on console. Reinhardt, gonna put him at an A. Solid tank, decent shield. As long as you can hit your abilities, which are on a huge cooldown, you can be pretty effective. Decent team fight ult. That can change the game. You can combine it with like something else, like a Riptire or something like that. Overall, very solid tank. Roadhog. Roadhog is at a B just because he has such a large hitbox and he's pretty much just an ult farm magnet. If you see a Roadhog, you're going to shoot at him, you're going to get ult. That's what it is. He can't do shit past like medium range. He's a strictly close range frontline. Same with, I guess, Reinhardt, but Reinhardt at least has a shield, so you can back away. Situation on most maps, you can pick him up. If you're a good Roadhog, then by all means, you're going to be hooking people constantly. And he'll take you past like gold easily, but once he gets around like mid-plat, low diamond, not going to be seeing much Roadhog. Soldier. I'm going to put Soldier at an S. Hit scan on console is always very good. Soldier is no exception. The only thing I would change to Soldier to actually give him a little bit more of a buff is increase his ammo on his gun. Apart from that, great damage, hit scan, very easy to use. Probably one of the top picks on console if you want a solid DPS. Sombra, I'm gonna put Sombra at an A. You can use her in most cases. She's definitely good for team fights, especially as long as you can hack somebody. If you get a hack off and somebody that has like mobility, like a Fara or something like that, or like a diva, something that relies on their mobility to get out of situations, and they're hacked, then they're pretty much dead every time. Especially when you got a Sombra constantly harassing the backline, insanely annoying. Symmetra, I'm going to put Symmetra at a B. I don't really see what the big deal about Symmetra is. People say she's a lot better than she actually is. Turrets are super easy to destroy. Teleporters, very easy to destroy. I don't know. Okay damage. Not very much long range poke. Best thing about her is her ult, which is actually the barrier. Global barrier. Apart from that, it's extremely average. Torb. Decent on certain maps. Like Hanamura, I think is one of his best maps. Stuff where you can like set up a turret and you don't have to worry about it. They have to go through a choke point to get to the point. King's Row is a great map for him. Even Hollywood ain't bad. Havana ain't bad either. He has a lot of decent maps you can play him on. Only thing he really relies on, he has not really much mobility, and his ult really doesn't do that much because a lot of people just run away from it. You're lucky you can get damage on somebody. Most of the time, he's going to be getting damage and not really any kills. Tracer. I've been using a Tracer a lot lately. Going to put Tracer, I think, at an S. He's one of those champions, or not champions, heroes, where you can, if you can play a good Tracer, you can pretty much carry teams all the way up to around about maybe like mid-diamond. She's a little bit more difficult to use on console than probably like PC. It's because we're playing on a controller, not a mouse. Decent ult, kind of hard to land ult. Most times you got to get good at landing your ult, otherwise your ult is pretty much worthless. Which I'm still trying to learn most times. Sometimes I can get it good, sometimes it's more of just like a honing tool. Currently in the process of trying to be a pretty good Tracer, still learning her. Way better than I was like 3 weeks ago, I'm telling you that right now though. Widow, S. Great on a lot of maps. The only time you're not going to pick Widow is if they pick like a Reaper and they're constantly like harassing you. If they don't have a flank like a Sombra or like a Reaper or something like that, that's constantly trying to pick you off and go after you, and you're just able to just free fire, especially with the reduction in barriers, and you're able to get headshots, which are on squishes are most likely one-hit KOs in most cases. She's unstoppable, insanely good. Even though they nerfed her hook, she's still top tier. Harambe. I'm not going to call him Winston because he reminds me of Harambe. Dicks out for Harambe in the comment section down below. Insane mobility. The only thing he kind of lacks is medium to long range poke, but for a tank that can knock people off the high ground. If you want a good tank for like maps that have a lot of high ground and that are going to like the DPS like a soldier or like McCree or a Hanzo or like an Ashe, you're going to be sitting on the high ground. You want something to knock them off the high ground. You're either going to be picking Diva or you're going to be picking Harambe. One of those. Then he has a decent team fight ult. It's more of a disruption ult. Kind of like that. It's up pretty often as well if you're constantly doing damage. One of the best disruption like tanks in the game. Brawler tanks. Wrecking Ball, going to put it in A. Very, very solid on most maps, especially on especially I think like it's on the Mecha base. I think that's the map. I'm not quite sure. There's one map where there's like a big pillar in the middle that you can just swing around all game, and it's really hard to hit him. There's a few of those maps in the game. Very good team fight ult with the minefield. Decent damage with the miniguns. More of one of those off tanks that kind of disrupts the enemy. If you're going against a good Wrecking Ball, he's going to definitely be hard to deal with. Zarya. You're not going to be running Zarya unless you're on like a Zarya Ryan comp, or you're on something with like a lot of shields, maybe like an Orisa Ryan. Stuff like that. She just doesn't really have... She has decent damage, but you have to get your shield knocked down, I think, for her passive, which gives her more damage. The best thing about her is probably her ult. Apart from that, not really too much reason to pick her over in like most comps, unless you're like an insane Zarya player. Then Yatta. Just your average run-of-the-mill healer. Does decent healing, which I think is a tick over time. It's kind of reminds me of like Genos. It's like a tick over time. Decent ult, which gives you immunity, damage immunity. Overall, you're just really run-of-the-mill healer that ain't bad, ain't good. Can fit on most teams. Sigma. Gonna put Sigma at a S, Sigma probably still one of the best tanks in the game, just because you're not going to be really using him as like a point, like defend a point tank anymore. You're going to be using more of as like an offensive tank. I think out of all the tanks in the game, Sigma probably does some of the most damage. I think he melts squishies, and I think like 2 hits of his primary. He has a built-in stun. He has a barrier that can be refilled with an ability, with a power surge ability. He has a great, huge area of effect alt that's pretty much guaranteed to get like 1 or 2 kills on a squishy. What can I say? If you want a decent tank, the only thing that's you got nerfed was his shield, but you just got to play his shield a little bit better and a little bit more cautiously, or you just got to play a little bit more aggressive and more like a capture payload tank. Then you got to pick something else like a Ryan Sigma, really good comp. Ryan Diva, not bad either. Apart from that, there's not really much left, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below if there's anything I missed. What you guys think. Like I said, nothing below D. Overall solid right now. The meta's decently solid. I'm enjoying it. I don't know about you guys, but it's the beginning of December when this patch is out, so it might change a little bit depending on when you guys are seeing this video. Apart from that, I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in a future video.